Thank you, Abraham. A lot of my questions have already been answered, except
all of them have, but you can't find what's lost.
Let me rephrase that. Earlier today, you had said that, first of all, be comfortable where you're at.
Make peace with where you are.
Correct.
Because that will reduce resistance and let you move to now where you want to go.
I've got no problem with that.
Good. Now get out.
The issue stems from, I guess you could say...
When you call something an issue, have you made peace with it?
Okay, you're right.
Jerry will entitle this segment 10 Minutes of Harassment.
That's okay. That's okay. It's quite warm in here. They should turn the air up. I'm comfortable where I am, and I can accept the aspects that I am dealing with insofar as myself. What I'm having trouble with, I believe, is I feel it's time to move on from the relationship.
You know what's interesting, though? When you say, I'm comfortable with where I am, but I can't...
With who I am, also.
Well, I'm comfortable with where. I'm comfortable with where I am, but I want to move on. We have to say, then you're not really comfortable with where you are. And I
feel I've grown farther than she has. More so to where I want to move on, and I see her as holding me back.
Well, wherever Jerry has noticed that as he points something out, as they're driving down the freeway and Esther's driving the monster bus, and Jerry will point at something, and Esther tends to veer in the direction of where he's pointing. So he's learned to only point straight down the road at things. And we say you all tend to do that. You all go where you're looking. And so when you have decided that you are evolving faster than someone else, and you are looking at someone else where they are, the discomfort that you feel is that in your looking there, you're holding yourself you're not letting yourself go to where you're going. In other words, no one has to keep up with you, but you have to keep up with yourself by not blaming someone else for where you are.
Okay, so how do you know when it's time, and you mentioned this earlier, how do you know when it's time to move on?
Well, here's the way we would look at this. When it's time to move on, wild horses can't keep you from doing it. When it's time to move on, the inspiration to go is so fantastic and so intoxicating, and so there's so much desire within you that you can't bear not to go. And when you're going because you don't like where you are, that's a whole different thing.
Right, because you're going to take yourself with you.
But it's a whole different vibrational pattern, you see. So now we want to talk about this just a little, because we've made a bit of a jumble of it, and we want to bring some points of clarity to it. And we want to come back to something that you said right in the beginning, when you said, I'm comfortable with where I am, because you're hearing us say, make peace with where you are. And sometimes people will say that worries them, because what they think we're saying is, be satisfied with the outcome that has come out and accept it as all that will ever be. And that's not what we mean when we say make peace with where you are. When we say make peace with where you are, what we mean by that is find the best feeling thoughts that you can find about where you are from where you are. And in doing so, you align with the energy of Source, which then allows you to go anywhere you want to go. It's a vibrational thing again. Somebody else was talking about that here today. It's something about getting the desire out of the equation and amplifying the allowing part of it. And in order to make real sense of this, we have to say to you that everything that you've lived with this person and others has caused you to launch clarifying rockets of who you are. So of course you're moving on from where you have been. Of course you are. Your future is full of all kinds of differences. And when you make peace with where you are, which is to say, you don't find something about where you are that irritates you. You no longer find something about where you are that makes you unhappy. You only look at where you are and find things that you appreciate. As you look at where you are and find things that allow you to be who you are, then you can move to the vibrational escrow that you've got lined up. Isn't that interesting? So people say, well, here I am over here and I want to be over there. And we say, well, tell us about over there. And they say, well, I'm not very happy over here. I have issues over here. And we say, well, let's talk about over there. And they say, well, I have to get done with what's over here. And we say, you can't move over there as long as you're trying to get done with what's over here. When you make peace with what's here, which is to say, you feel good about what's here, you find positive aspects about what's here, then you become then and only then do you become a vibrational match to what's over here. So that's why we're trying to get everybody to separate their action journey, which is where I am right now. It's who I live with. It's how much money I've got. It's how I feel in my body. My action journey is what I've culminated to right now. And a woman said to us the other day, I weigh 200 pounds more than I want to. And we said, and that's not going to change today, is it? Or tomorrow, or the next day, or even very much in 30 days. In other words, that's what is. You've got to find some way of accepting what is, meaning I don't need to change what is in order to feel better. I don't need to lose 200 pounds, we said to her. You don't need to lose 200 pounds before you can be happy. You can be 200 pounds overweight and happy. That's making peace with where you are. Or you can be 200 pounds overweight and unhappy. You can have arthritis in your hips and be fearful, or you can have arthritis in your hips and be hopeful. In other words, what is doesn't have to change. That's what we mean by making peace with where you are. Where I am doesn't have to change in order for my emotional journey to change. And when my emotional journey changes, my vibrational pattern is changed. And when my vibrational pattern is changed, now I can go where I belong, you see. That's as clear as we've ever said it.
Okay. Thank you.
We have enjoyed this interaction immensely with all of you. We've been interacting whether you've been sitting in the chair and speaking or not. Much has taken place here on a vibrational level. Much more has happened within your personal experience vibrationally than you have heard auditorially. In other words, it has been a vibrational experience for everyone, no exception. It is our desire that as you move forward in the hours and days and years that are before you, that you relax and make peace with where you are. And by that we mean you acknowledge that what is what is, and it's fine. Spend less time trying to see where you stand through the eyes of others. In fact, work hard at no longer giving a rip what they think, because they mean well, but they haven't got a clue about you and your vibration. And make a decision that the thing that really, really matters to you is your vibrational relativity between who you really are and who you're being in this moment. And when you find yourself feeling not so good, stop and laugh and say, oh, isn't this good? I can feel that vibrational relationship right now. And this negative feeling that I have in my solar plexus or wherever it feels that you're feeling it, this negative emotion that I am identifying means that I have right now activated a thought that is quite different from the way my inner being and source sees this. So if I'm critical of me and I feel negative emotion, it surely means my inner being is never critical of me. If I'm critical of you and I feel negative emotion, it surely must mean my inner being is never critical of you. If I'm critical of the president or critical of his policies or critical of the environment or critical of the economy or critical of my own bank account and I feel negative emotion, it must only be because I have freely chosen to activate a vibration that's so different from the vibration of who I really am, that I have managed to set up some vibrational discord, and yippee, 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 I can feel it. And because I can feel it, I will be able to feel it as it dissipates. I can literally talk myself into feeling better on every subject that I have activation. And as you do that, bit by bit, you are going to improve the vibrational relationship between where you are and what you want and who you really are on every topic. And those who are watching this transformation will think that you have suddenly become magical. They will want to know what magic wand you have found. And you will say to them, I made peace with me. I stopped finding fault with me. I stopped finding fault with you. I stopped looking for reasons to feel bad, and I started looking for reasons to feel good. I stopped making the worst of things, and I started making the best of things. I stopped asking other people to be the reason for me feeling better, and I decided that I could be the reason for me feeling better. And in that decision, I found ultimate freedom. And when you're free, you just gotta feel good. We have enjoyed this interaction more than words can convey. There is great love here for you. We are complete.